Hello, welcome to FiceFilm. Today, we will explain the Marvel movie Antman and the Wasp, Quantumania. Warning: this video contains major spoilers. Enjoy! The film begins with a flashback in the quantum realm, where Janet Van Dyne encounters two creatures that attack her. She manages to kill one of them, but is attacked by the other. Just as it is about to finish her off, someone appears and blasts its head off. Janet turns to see a man who seems to have crash-landed in the realm with her. In the present day, Scott Lang, also known as Antman, is enjoying his newfound fame after helping the Avengers defeat Thanos. Meanwhile, Hope Van Dyne has taken over her father's company and continues to use Pine particles for her research, aiming to benefit the world. Scott has also written a popular book about his adventures. However, his time trapped in the quantum realm has kept him away from his daughter, Cassie. Scott receives a call from jail and meets Hope there. Cassie has been arrested for participating in a protest. Since the blip, she has been interested in science and has been working with Hope and Hank, who she affectionately calls Grandpa Hank. Scott and Cassie join the Pyms for dinner, where Hank accidentally reveals that Cassie has been arrested multiple times. Cassie showcases their work, including Hank's ant farm with intelligent ants and her own device that communicates with the quantum realm and the outside world. Janet panics and shuts off the device, but before she can explain, it reactivates and starts pulling everyone and everything inside. Scott jumps in to save Cassie and uses his Ant-Man suit to protect her as they fall into the quantum realm. Hope uses her Wasp suit to rescue her parents, and they gather with Janet, trying to avoid being detected. They encounter the realm's inhabitants, and Janet engages in a duel with one of them, but it turns out to be a friendly encounter. She manages to secure transportation for her family on a large flying creature. The Langs encounter other inhabitants of the quantum realm, ranging from humanoid to alien-like beings. Scott and Cassie must drink a red fluid called ooze, provided by a creature named Veb, which allows them to understand the natives. They meet Quaz, a native who can read minds, and Gentora, a rebel warrior who suspects that the arrival of the Langs and Pyms will attract the attention of someone known as the Conqueror. When Scott mentions Janet's name, Gentora becomes more suspicious. Janet leads Hank and Hope to a bar filled with other quantum natives, where they meet Lord Krylar, a man who befriended Janet during her time in the realm. It is implied that they had a romantic relationship. Janet tries to persuade Krylar to help them, but he reveals that he is working for Kang, the Conqueror mentioned earlier. Krylar mentions Kang's ultimate weapon, a giant mechanized organism called MODOK. Kang's henchmen arrive to capture the Pyms, but the family fights their way out, with Hank using a growing disc to turn a squid creature into a giant and take down Krylar. They then escape on Krylar's ship. The rebels come under attack from Kang's forces, and MODOK makes his appearance, vaporizing some of the freedom fighters. In the chaos, Cassie reveals her own supersuit, which allows her to shrink and grow. MODOK, who turns out to be Darren Cross, the antagonist from a previous Ant-Man film, personally confronts Scott and Cassie. He reveals his deformed appearance caused by Scott's actions and his intention to use Cassie for his plans. MODOK then brings Scott and Cassie to Kang. On their way, Janet confesses the truth to Hank and Hope about her time in the quantum realm. She reveals that she met Kang, who initially appeared as a lost traveler seeking help to power his ship and escape the realm. Kang promised to return Janet to Hope. However, when Janet found the ship's core, she discovered that Kang's ship was powered by his thoughts. Touching the core allowed Janet to witness Kang's heinous acts, including the destruction of entire planets and timelines. Kang tried to win Janet over by offering to erase her absence from Hope's childhood, but she realized the suffering it would cause elsewhere. Janet used her Wasp suit to steal the core and destroy it, preventing Kang and herself from escaping. Scott and Cassie meet Kang, who boasts about killing Avengers from different timelines. He demands Scott's help in retrieving his core, threatening to harm Cassie and trap Scott in a never-ending loop. Reluctantly, Scott agrees, vowing to seek revenge if Kang harms Cassie. Scott is dropped into the location of the core but becomes caught in a probability storm, resulting in multiple versions of himself appearing. The Pyms arrive at the location and help Scott, with Hope getting surrounded by her own probabilities. Scott's versions aid him due to their shared goal of saving Cassie. Together, Scott and Hope shrink the core. Hope and Janet assist Scott, now in possession of the core, but Kang arrives to take it, breaking their deal to release Cassie. Kang also takes Janet and orders MODOK to destroy the ship with Hank on board, though he survives. When Janet calls Kang a monster, he reveals that he is the exiled one among his variants and believes they are responsible for horrors across the multiverse. Kang plans to escape the quantum realm to control a forthcoming event that threatens humanity. The ants from Hank's ant farm, who have gone through time displacement and advanced rapidly, assist Hank in guiding Scott and Hope toward Kang's stronghold. Meanwhile, Cassie uses her suit to infiltrate a prison and free Gentora and other rebels, urging them to join the fight against Kang. As Kang delivers a villainous speech, Cassie seizes the moment and rallies everyone to attack Kang's tower. The rebels fight off Kang's minions, and Cassie defeats MODOK by turning giant and punching him. She convinces him to abandon his evil ways. Scott and Cassie grow gigantic and charge toward Kang in anger. They reunite with Hank, who leads the ants and a giant mecha ant in an assault on the tower. Kang launches an attack on the rebels, but MODOK betrays him and launches his own attack. MODOK chooses to die as Darren, and the heroes stand by his side as he passes away. The heroes make their way into the tower, where Janet has repaired Kang's core and opened a portal to return home. Scott pushes Cassie through the portal just before Kang attacks him. They engage in a brutal fight, with Kang nearly overpowering Scott. Kang attempts to escape through the portal, but Hope jumps back to assist Scott. Together, they defeat Kang and destroy the core by using multiple growing and shrinking discs. Hope pushes Kang into the core and he is pulled into a portal to oblivion. Cassie manages to reopen the portal, allowing Scott and Hope to return home, while the quantum natives celebrate their victory. Scott resumes his life with his family, although he remains concerned about Kang's warning of an impending catastrophe. He dismisses it for the time being and joins the family as celebrating a belated birthday for Cassie. In a mid-credits scene, a council of Kang variants discusses the death of the Exiled One and prepares to send each of themselves into the multiverse for an upcoming war. In a post-credits scene, another variant of Kang named Victor Timely is seen teaching a class in the 19th century. Among his students are Loki and Agent Mobius, with Loki warning Mobius about the dangerous threat this man poses.